Hello everybody, and welcome back to this week's update on how the plants are going. So as of now, right now, we've got a big tray here that's going to be leeks, and essentially what we've got is we've got a cardboard tray inside of the plastic tray. The plastic tray obviously is providing a greenhouse effect. No leaks are coming through yet, so this is going to be leeks, and they're going to just go straight out like this once the weather is suitable enough. We do actually have the LED lights on right now, so as you can see the reflection in here as well. That's on for the little guys that have already sprouted. So we've got a couple of tomatillos that are sprouted. I don't know if you can see the one at the back. I've got the sign that's in the way showing what the name is, so let me go ahead and remove that so you can actually see the plant going there. So basically I've got these little trays now. They are designed for bigger pots, even bigger than the circular one at the back, but they're there just to provide a mini greenhouse effect. It's not as good as the big trays right now, but it's just to keep the plants warm. I couldn't have room for one here, so what I've been doing is I've been rotating it between them, so they get some sort of effect, so it helps them to grow. Now, as we've got here, we've got the labels on what's going on here. It's just a simple piece of paper, just marking out what's going on here. So we've got the eggplants, as you can see right here. So if we look on the legend here, we've got eggplants, which is showing at the top. And again, down at the bottom here, these little lines indicate the cuts that I've made into the tray. So you can kind of establish what's going on from there. Nothing in the next row coming down, but from there we do have the bumblebee. These are bumblebee sunrise tomato plants, and then we've got the cherry tomatoes. We've already got one of the cherry tomatoes that really shot up quick, as well as the tomatillos. Those guys really shot up quick, and that's why they're in their own pots at the moment. The eggplants are going to have to follow suit soon, these two especially. This one still has a bit of the seed casing stuck to it, so just need to gently try and pry that away. If it doesn't work, spray a bit of water, I found, sort of moistens it and helps it to fall off. But it's best not to pick those off. It's best for them to fall off, because you can damage the first leaves there, and once you've damaged those leaves, good luck trying to get that plant to recover. So I'm knocking over the greenhouses from there. So as well on here, we don't really seem to have too much growing. We do have the ground cherries popping through right now, so hopefully we'll see some progress from them in the coming days. But again, if we look at the legend, we've got the tomatillos, and we got 3 of the 4 seeds pop out so far, so we're just waiting for the last one to pop out. Ground cherry, we've got 3 of the 4 as well. It may just be that one of them is not going to germinate. No basil, as they say over here. I say basil from the UK. And the beefsteak, we do have 1 beefsteak popped out early here. We've got another 2 here, and again, we're going to have to separate those soon, as well as the eggplants. And from there, what we will do is we'll let them grow. We'll let them get bigger. From here, this is just the baby nursery. Again, in my laundry room here. This kind of area is just something to get the plant started. Previously, I have used it as the full nursery, so all the way through until they go out into the back garden. The problem with that is that you run out of space easily. The space that I've got here is 35 inches across here and 23, 25 going back. So really it's not that much of space, but it's somewhere nice and warm with the heat mat. With the fact that it's the laundry room, we've got a vent in here that blows in hot air, but when the laundry is drying, it heats up the room as well. So it's a good place for a nursery. It's a space that we don't really use. It's just going to be used to store junk, so we might as well put some use to it. If you have something similar in your house, while I'm still trying to fix these over here, if you have some space in your own house that's similar to this, it's not really being utilized, it's nice and warm, that's something that you can use, that's something that you can find use for. Or, you know, if it's just somewhere that's a nice sunny window ledge, that kind of stuff, you don't need the LED light then, but I do find that the LED light helps a lot. Further to doing what we've got here, once they start growing up, this is the guy that we give them. So what I do is I mix that into one of my spray bottles here, and then basically this is fish waste, fish crap essentially, and it has all of the nutrients to help it grow. It's heavy in nitrogen, so I found over the years this actually helps them shoot up. It helps them really start that growing early, and then from there we can get it ready to go out into the garden. So next part you'll see in a few moments is going to be into the garage. The garage is where I've got my little mini greenhouse. It's a lot colder out there, so I don't want to put the babies outside. I want to put the ones that are a bit more mature, the ones that can tolerate the cold as well. So the leeks, once they start sprouting, once they seem like they've established a bit, I'll likely be throwing the whole thing outside there. So I get more room here, so I can then start getting a lot of the pots going. So next transition you'll see is going out into the garage, and I'll show you my setup from there. So welcome outside to my garage. This is where I store plants that need overwintering. So we've got some peppers, we've got some blueberries, we've got some citronella that I'm going to carry on growing this year, as well as this little mini greenhouse. So it's just a plastic sheet with some plastic and metal tubing to make the frame. That is something that I utilized for the last few years to transition plants outside. So normally in late April, early May, I would use this to get the plants outside. Previously, when I stored plants in here over winter, they died because they didn't have a source of light. So I don't know if you can see, this is where obviously I store other things as well as the plants. So there's the garbage and recycling bins. But again, this is just a space that really isn't used. We've only got one car, so we don't need to store the vehicle inside over the winter. So we utilize it for this. This year, we've got the tomatillo. This is the proper pot that goes with this lid, something that I got from the dollar store. Going to see if the seedling will actually grow here. I've already got the 2 tomatillos that I need, so I'm just going to see if it's kind of a little bit of an experiment. As well as towards the back here, we've got a Christmas tree that we were growing, so it's something that we thought would be cool to grow a Christmas tree and to store outside. So we've got some Scotch bonnet up the top. We've got some strawberry plants which are starting to sprout back a little bit. Strawberry plants down here as well that are sprouting back a little bit. They don't need that much light. Down here we've got a Scotch bonnet plant again. We've got an empty pot down there that I think had some citronella in it. Again, we've got some more strawberries down here. We've got another pot here. I've got 2 more of these that I'm going to use this year for strawberries. Now this is this is the wire's chives, and it just goes to show what chives can do. This is in the garage. It's miles away from the light. You can see that it's leaning towards the light, but it's just thriving even in the garage where the temperature is not cold in here, but it's not warm either. So the chives are just loving it. Again, blueberries, jalapenos, some more strawberries that were potted. These guys look like they might be dead, but we'll see if they start bouncing back soon. And again, another blueberry, as well as some stuff that's just lying around for either garbage or Halloween decorations, as you can see. So this is the pre-going outside stage. So you'll see a lot of the plants go outside here as soon as they are ready, as soon as they're mature seedlings, because obviously, again, I do have the space indoors. If I can use, I've got a frame inside, one of these frames. That's what I would do, is I'd put some plants underneath, some plants on top, and that would suffice for me. But this year, I'm thinking maybe we'll take a different approach. Maybe I'll still use that system. It all depends on the space that I've got. So yeah, this is the setup, and it is something that has worked relatively well in the past with the greenhouse outside. I don't see a problem with it inside. Again, they're not going to grow great because this light even though it's a good light, it's far away from a lot of the plants, so I don't expect anything to really thrive out here. This is more of a maintenance area and, you know, just in a preparation to get it outside. So we'll continue to see how this works, and we will follow the journey together and make sure that we get the plants going as we need. And any of these plants that don't make it, so the jalapeno, the Scotch bonnet, or the Scotch bonnet up there, anything that really doesn't make it, I may have to buy again this year and then try and figure out a way to get it working. And the only way that I'm thinking is we get a bigger grow light, one that's stronger, and we maybe get something to keep the jalapeno warm, the Scotch bonnet warm. I'm hoping this does it, but maybe not. We'll see. So thank you very much. I will speak to you next week when we'll do a further update. One other thing which will be coming is this big pot here. We've got a hole in it. So that's a project that we'll be covering in a video, how to repair that hole. I don't know if you can see it from here, but there's a big slice in the side, and unfortunately that will let things in and let things out, and we need to seal that up. So that will be a video that's coming up in the coming weeks. So thank you very much for watching today, as I say, and we will speak to you soon.